Hello, 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 my lovely people. How have you been? I hope you had a lovely weekend. It just hit me. It's 4 days to the end of August. You can't even pay me to tell you what happened in August. I swear, it has flown by. 2024 is coming in strong. My goodness, I'm feeling like we are inching closer to the end of season 3. It's not a sad ending though. I'm excited because that means the beginning of season 4. And I am scared for season 4 because it's going to be heated. I can feel it deep down in my soul. It's going to be heated. And also, I'd like to remind you that there's partnership opportunities on this podcast. All the details to contact me are in the description below. And also, our Luo Man merchandise is still up. So you can buy it through my WhatsApp catalog. That is +254 728 171 059. With that said, let's get into this episode that is triggering, is fun. We had a very heavy episode last week. It literally spilled over to part 2, and it's like 2 hours apart. They're both up, but here's the thing. I wanted something lighter this week because sometimes I feel like we just drown into the heaviness of life. Okay, so anyway, let's get into what we are talking about today. Welcome to another episode of the In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao, and I asked you, can men and women be just friends? Platonic friendships between people who are heterosexual and are of different sexes. Is it possible? So I asked this. Of course, I put out my prompts every Thursday mid-morning between 9 to 11. Past 11, please ask where I am if you don't see the prompt. I put it out on my socials. That's Oliver Rao on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And once they're out, people discuss in the comments. So you can also go and get the tea in the comments, but I also get some responses directly to my prompt. And that's what I have here. So I wish I had put a poll up because most of it was just like voting. A lot of people were either saying yes or no, but I calculated the responses. And can men and women be just friends? 64% of you said yes. 64%. That's a good percentage, yeah? And then you'll hear my disgruntled dog outside. I don't know who tries to steal from that compound every day. Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they're doing. Okay, they know they are stealing. Anyway, 64% of you said yes, men and women can actually be just friends. 24% of you said hell no, hell to the N-O, no. Men and women cannot be friends. And for maybe 5%, some people were just like, I don't know. And I'm one of those people. I'm part of the 5% who's just like, it's possible, but it's not. Anyway, when I put out this prompt, I got an interesting response stitch from a person on TikTok who I follow. And I really like their content. They're my TikTok friend. I've not met them yet, but I really, really like them. That's Wesley Jeff. So he put out a stitch to my video and gave his opinion, which I feel just opened a can of worms. So I actually told him I'll still do this episode in season 4 and have him over. But anyway, this is what Wesley Jeff had to say.
Well, this kind of pulled me out of the woodworks. So, Olive asked 2 very important questions. Can men and women be genuine platonic friends? And the answer is yes. There is only one way. It's the only way that works, but I'm going to tell you about that in a second. She asked the second question she asked, does that mean that men have the potential to sleep with every woman in their friend group? So I'm going to start there. Yes. Especially if those chicks are willing and available for it, men will mostly take the option. Men, naturally, are the ones who make effort towards getting laid. Right? So if they don't have to make effort and they can get the reward without the effort, they will mostly take it, especially if it comes from a chick who they have a kind of an already existing trust relationship with. Men will mostly take it. And it doesn't necessarily translate to interest. It doesn't mean that this guy is interested in you so much. It just means that the option was there and they took it. So yes, it's possible he could sleep with every chick in their friend group. The second question, can men and women be friends? Yes, but there's only one way, and it's the only way that works. And the way is, it only works if the male in this friendship is not interested in the chick at all. Keep in mind that males are the ones who make the effort towards starts of relationships and getting laid. So, essentially, in this friendship, if the man does not make any kind of move towards the chick, the relationship is mostly going to stay the same. Granted that there are some chicks who make the first move, they're the minority, and women generally don't take rejection very well. So most of them will suppress their feelings to avoid getting rejected. So if a man doesn't make the move, the relationship might stay the same, because if he makes the move, it can go one of two ways. It can either go in that direction, you cross that boundary, you never go back, you probably have some form of a relationship, and it could die for a myriad of reasons like any other relationship does. Or you could make the move and she shuts you down immediately. And ergo, that relationship does not stay platonic and does not stay the same from there on out. So hence, it cannot be called a genuine platonic relationship. So the only way men and women can be friends is if the guy in the relationship or in the friendship is absolutely not interested in the chick. Yep, now you know.
Yo, Chomi. That means what I derived from this is that men are solely responsible for what direction our friendship will take when it's with a woman. Hey, yo, I have so many questions. I have so many asks. But anyway, what do you think about what Jeff had to say? What do you think about his opinion on this? I think it makes a lot of sense. I actually believe what he says, because a lot of the times it's not the women who do the approach, it's the men. And when a woman approaches, I think men are just out here to be chilled. And he said something very important that's going to be a whole other episode. A man doesn't necessarily need to be attracted to you to sleep with you. Men just go around sleeping with anybody. So you're not special. If you at any one point were someone's friend and they're a man and it got heated, they're just going to sleep with you without thinking about it. Maybe for women, they have a process behind their head. They're like, oh, it's going to be an FWB. Oh, it's going to be a one night stand. Men are just sleeping with people. Anyway, that opens a whole can of worms. That's why I didn't want to discuss it, but I wanted to put it out there. Now, on to the responses that I got directly to my prompts. And can men and women be just friends? Someone said, well, no, but yes. I don't know whether you're confused. You're like me, right? You're like me who's like, I agree. Men want to sleep with everyone. But then you're also like, but me, I have male friends. Aki, you're me. You're me. I feel you here deep in my soul. Someone else says, yes, they can. Kuzingatia boundaries and being firm about it. Unless mnataka tu kusmash. This means you can be friends, but you're literally practicing restraint. There has to be clear boundaries and you have to firmly hold on to those boundaries. And if not, then these people just want to smash. They're just holding it on, probably waiting for an opportune moment, a decent time, when you and your partner are not going through a rough patch and you need a shoulder to cry on or a dick to ride on. We really do not judge here. But they say, yes, they can exist, but there has to be very, very clear boundaries. I agree. And boundaries is for all friendships, not just even men and women only. All your friendships should have boundaries, whether it's girl, man, woman, man, just friendships. Boundaries really help, and you have to stick to your boundaries. It makes no sense if you set up boundaries and then you compromise them every other time. Yeah, and she says, unless you just want to smash and you're not telling us. Someone else says, where? I used to think they could until reality hit me. So I think all of us are getting this reality check. Like, all of us grew up with people we knew, right? You grew up in a neighborhood with boys. You grew up in a neighborhood with girls. They're your friends. You've seen them go to high school. You've seen them go to college. You've seen them date people. You've seen them in shitty ass situations. You don't ever think of these people as someone I want to be with, right? And then one day something happens, one thing leads to the other, and you're here. And now you realize, okay, I guess it cannot exist. Someone else says, no, I am saying this as a lady. You cannot be just friends. Men will tend to go sexual with you. The only men that will be your friend is your dad and your brother. The rest, no. Whoa. That is true, because let's not even get into cousins, yo. Are we ready? So yes, you say that you don't really think men and women can be friends, and you're actually emphasizing what Wesley was saying earlier. You're emphasizing what these other people before have said. Men will think sexually. Men just want to sleep with people. Men, I don't know if this is true. Can you at least speak up for yourselves? We know. Because you're being accused of not having self-control whatsoever. But anyway, I do understand this. Your brother and your dad could be the only people that you could call friends. The only people that you could trust are of the male gender. And you could say, okay, this one ain't gonna happen. I get it. I get it. But let's not get into the bizarre stories of families as well. Someone else says, yes, but sometimes as a lady who is single, having a close male friend can be really challenging. Feelings. I would like some context. I'd like some tea. Why are you single? Are you in a healing journey? While you're single, are you celibate? Because then that presents the problem of probably not wanting to have sex casually, right? And you're saying feelings crop up and you have this close friend, but you do believe men and women can actually be friends, can actually be just friends. But here's the thing. Okay, let's say you have this friend who's male, you're a girl, you have this friend who's a man, and you've been friends, it's been a good friendship, but then you're starting to have feelings for them. Does that then also mean that the more you hang around someone, you might grow sexually attracted to them? I am saying this as a demisexual. The only way I develop relationships is through building a connection. I have never had a romantic partner who was not a friend for less than 2 years. That's the shortest time. Oh yeah, there's one. Yeah. And it began as fast as it ended. But anyway, yeah, as a demisexual, we develop we develop sexual attraction, romantic attraction to people who we've already connected with. So that means me having a close friend around who's male, over time, by the virtue of them being just there, my heart grows fond. And me on this topic, leave me out if you can. And you're saying as a lady who's single, it's difficult. I understand that on a personal level, I really do. But then that means then you're saying, yes, people can be friends. But then you, as a single lady, you're struggling with this. Then that also brings up the question, should people be able to feel these feelings when they are already committed to someone else? If you were not single, you would comfortably have male friends around you. Hey, Chobi, I'm struggling, but I get you. I understand. Humans are humans. Someone else says, yes, they can. Friendship comes before anything, even relationships. So men and women can be friends and friendships come first, even before relationships. I agree with you because there has been so many cases where friends actually feel left out because their friend fell in love and then just abandons everything. Be very careful if you're that kind of person who falls heads over heels and just forgets that there were people who existed before you. Okay? If you're that kind of person, be careful. Hold up your friends to a more, hold priority for your friends more than you do your romantic partners. Even when your romance fails, there's always a place you can go back to, and that's usually friendships. And I agree with this. I don't know if this, however, is the argument for if men and women can be friends. So again, I would go back and reiterate, you'd have to have very clear boundaries and stick to them. Someone else said, never have I had. Let's play the game, never have I had. Never have I had a man and woman be friends. Okay. I'm starting to question the circles you guys have been in. Because I've been in circles where people have known each other for ages over and they've just been friends. And especially if you grew up with the same people. I feel like the people I knew from primary school, secondary school, they just look like cows to me. I don't know if I'd ever feel attracted to them. And I don't know if they'd ever feel attracted to me, knowing the Olive that was like 12 years old, 11 years old. You'd feel that's the only picture you have of me and you feel attracted to me. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, never have you heard. But anyway, someone else says, yes, I strongly believe that. Yeah. I'm one of those who believe. But I'm also torn because of logic. But I do believe because I have had male friends all my life. So I'm feeling like I do believe you can't just be just friends with people of the other sex. My problem is, are they just friends with you? You know that meme for you're dating? Is that person dating you? That one. Someone else says someone will catch feelings. This is very common, and this happens a lot of times. It happens a lot of times where people are just like, I'm just here to be your friend. And there's a girl on TikTok who said, I thought me and my ex could be friends until he knocked me up. Yo, guys, we're not talking about friends with benefits. Platonic friendships mean that you do not exchange any sort of intimacy or romantic intimacy. Let me say that, because there's other forms of intimacy, like cooking for your friends, gifting your friends. Those are all intimacy. But romantic sort of intimacy, especially things like sex, that you don't give to someone who's a platonic friend. Someone else says, yes, it is very possible. Okay, we agree. These are people who are all agreeing. Someone said, tricky. I'll give you an interesting statistic after this. Someone else said, no way. The man is always trying to smash. We all agree. It's the men out here. It's the men. Men, can you check yourselves? Someone else says, ain't no way. With time, one will catch feelings, mostly a man. This then, again, what Wesley was saying, men don't necessarily are attracted to, they didn't even catch a feeling for you. They just want to smash. So that could be the issue here. And then this also brings up the question. I have so many questions. This also brings up the question, don't men have standards? Because sometimes I look at the girls my male friends have, and I'm just like, I could never, like the taste is tasting. The girls, even if I was playing for the other team, these girls are way above my league, right? So I'm also thinking, like, do men have standards? If I tell you today, let's smash, you just go and smash. Even if I'm not your type, even if, shouldn't you feel some form of not romantic per se, but shouldn't you feel some sexual attraction towards someone before you can have sex with them? Does this mean men, you just don't have any standards? Whatever, if it's smashing, it's smashing. We are here for it. Okay. I don't know. Someone else says, there is no way. I was told this nonsense once. I can't be fooled again ever. Men are trash. This is not a conversation for men are trash, but I guess something happened. I guess you trusted in someone as a friend and they caught a feeling and they approached you. And what Wesley said, it will change the direction of the friendship all over. Like, you and your man will one day be out here you and your man, guys, sorry. You and your friend, once your friend approaches you, the dynamic of that friendship is going to change completely, if at all that friendship continues to exist. And I don't know your story about men are trash. You can send it to my DMs. Is it something to laugh about? If it's sensitive and fresh, you can just let me know so that we don't laugh about it yet. But when you're ready to laugh about it, you can tell us. Someone else says, no, Bana. The men will catch feelings and ruin everything. Speaking from experience. Ah, man, you're such party poopers. And I don't even think you're catching feelings. I think you just want to smash at this point. Because how many female friends do you come across? Like, if I just sat like this and thought of a random male in my life, I'm not thinking that they just have this one woman friend. You have multiple women friends. Does this mean you can smash all these women? I don't get it. It's not sinking. But anyway, as I said, we'll do this episode again in season 4. We'll have Wesley and a couple of other people over. So it's okay. It's okay. Someone else says, of course, yes. They are sure. They are sure. Someone else says, maybe. That was someone who just said, maybe. Because I guess they're on the fence like me, where you feel like, yes, like we've had friendships before, but no, because we know men, right? Someone else says, yes, but definitely have boundaries. Thank you. We circle back to the boundaries. You need to have very clear boundaries, and no one needs to compromise on those boundaries. Not at any point. Someone else says, tricky sana. You people have said it's tricks. Not possible. It's not happening. But also this could be very telling of what kind of person you are. The people who are saying yes and the people who are saying no. I'm feeling like the people who are saying yes probably approach these relationships with a clean intention. I don't know. But anyway, someone else says, yeah, absolutely, as long as I am not dating either of them. What do you mean either of them? You have 2 male friends? But anyway, yes, for you it's also possible. You can have male friends, it's normal for you. Someone else says, and this is the last response I got, yes, and it's stupid if you think about it. One will fall but won't say anything to save the friendship. So you're going to catch a feeling. But since you still want to remain in the good graces of this person, you're not going to tell them and you're just going to suffer in silence. Ayo, Chomi, I'd rather break up with you and sleep with you and then never get to see you again. I don't believe in suffering in silence. Not anymore. Well, I used to, but not anymore. I'm in my, what is that era called? What era am I in? Is it petty girl era? No, anyway, whatever. Oh, I'm a recovered people pleasing era. Okay? I'm not people pleasing anymore. I want something, I ask for it. If I don't get it, I choose. Should I stay here or should I walk away? It's all within my control. Hey, now on to slightly longer responses. Yo. Someone says, pain should be shared. Giving presents should be reciprocal. I really, really agree. Because if you have friends, generally, it does not matter whether your friends are male or female. These are normal things in friendships. When you go out for lunch, when you go out for a date, I don't know, there's an arrangement, but usually it's not like in the dating scene where there's one person who's supposed to be taking care of the bill. There's splitting. There's you pay this time, I'll pay next time. There's a dynamic for friendship that just exists that's very normal. Things like gifting is reciprocal in friendships. I believe if you and if you and your friend, same man and woman, are in a platonic friendship, these should be very normal. I found it wild when my friend said that she expects men to pay for things, even if they are her platonic friends, even when she's going out anywhere. Because I was like, then that creates the dynamic for a romance. Does that mean then you can end up like smashing any of this man or like dating any of this men? And that is scary. Just wondering. I think it's scary for me because I'm just like, the same question I asked. There's not only one man in your life. You meet several men all the time. Does this mean there's a potential of you getting attracted to one of these men at any point. And for men as well. No, for men, I was just like, don't you have standards? But yeah. Anyway, another person tells me, in my experience, if I do decide to be friends with a guy, I go in with the exact intention, but down the line, all of the guys, if not, but down the line, most of the down the line, most of the guys, if not all, end up hitting on me. So I feel like it's harder for men to be just friends with girls. I agree. I felt like even with the poll, it's the men who were saying no and it's the girls who were saying yes. So we agree. Men, you're the problem. At least on this one, agree with us. Someone else says, this is a tough one because the baseline of it all is trust between two people. I have friends who are so deep into the friend zone, they are considered family. They own that layer, kingdomites kabisa. And there are those closer to the door of situationships. Do I trust these individuals? Just enough to maybe fall into bed with them. And then there are those at the gate to the promised land. Relationship material. Most of these are fictional or K-pop idols. So platonic friendships exist. Would I trust my partner who has one of these platonic friendships? Absolutely. Because if you betray my trust, who will find your body? She did not stutter. Don't you dare date this person and play around with their trust, because they will never recover your remains. Yeah. Anyway, you say you have, I think I loved this because it was very well broken down. There's a myriad of friends who are of the opposite sex. There's ones who are completely friend zoned. They're like brother zoned. They're just, yo, to me, you look like a cow. To me, I don't find you attractive. Then there are those who are in the middle. And if we play kidogo, we might end up in bed. No big deal. I don't care. Nothing serious here. And then there are those friends who you have who are, she describes them as husband material. These are the kind, if I decide to settle down right now, I'd actually target one of these. And she's clustered her male friends like that. And I feel this is a wholesome approach to it than just going for no or yes. Because every relationship dynamic with different people is going to be different. And I think it also answers my question for, does that mean that you don't have standards and you can just sleep with anyone? Anyone who becomes your friend is potentially someone you can sleep with. That was something that I was questioning, but this sort of answered that. Someone else says, hii hata mimi nataka kujua. I'm with you right there. But from my experience, somehow, somewhere along the way, some lines get blurred. Lines have blurred out twice for the same person. First time, we went for a year or so bila kuongea. Second time, feelings are mutual, but circumstances around us are not favorable for us to try anything. So, yeah. My take is lines do get blurry. So we cannot be just good friends. Okay. But it seems like you're talking about just one person, right? There's this one person who you get into a situationship with. It starts as friendships, ends up, goes into FWB, soon is Bay, and then there's a whole breakup, and then you try to be friends again, and the lines start to get blurry again. It's messy. It's messy. And at this point, I don't think you should be friends with this person. Just let go of whatever was there before at all, or decide to date them or something. The on and off is not healthy for any of you. All right? But it is clear for you. Also, I think personality comes into play. There are people who can be friends with people quite easily. I raise my hand. And there are people who there are people who struggle. There are people who just want to jump into bed with people. Okay. So that's going to be different. Also, like, just personality comes into play. So you have to know yourself. Are you the kind of person who, if you become friends with someone, the lines will start to blur? Are you the kind of person who falls in love quickly? Know yourself. Know yourself so that you know when you're approaching certain situations, you don't get in with both feet and now you are drowning and you cannot pull yourself out. Someone else says, I was the girl with many male friends. I was tomboyish, so I found myself in the company of male friends than females. Until one by one, they started confessing that they wanted more. Aki including those that I considered my brothers. Anyways, nililia na nikafunga hiyo story. How wanaume will pretend for as long as it takes. Yo, man, you'll also need to like run a masterclass for the patience you have. Years. Okay, maybe you didn't have feelings for her in the beginning. Maybe they developed over time. And I also feel like men experience object permanence. Men will just want what is in front of them. What they cannot see, they just don't care. So if it was you who was there when they start to feel like, oh, I need someone, I need a girlfriend, I don't know whether in their head they actually fall in love or they're just like, if I want a girlfriend, wait a minute, I've known this girl for so long. Why not this one? So you actually say you cried. So I feel like you were brokenhearted a little because you thought, oh my goodness, these are my people. And there's some broken trust there, especially if it's people who you've been friends with for such a long time, and you're just like, now what is this? And at the end of the day, when they start hitting on you, as I said, the dynamic changes. And that means if all these friends fall off, then you remain with no one, which is wild. So now, hey, show me. Anyway, someone else says, hey girl, I love your content. Now on platonic relationships, platonic for who? Me, I am Ashao Pro Max. During my dating days, if the male friend couldn't katia me, I katia them very fast because how many lives are we going to live again? In fact, I was capable of sleeping with the entire network effortlessly. I believe now you're settled and can't be running around like this. But you said back in your dating days, you would easily sleep with anyone who was male. So you couldn't have male friends because they're a target. And the one who's a bit scared to approach, you go approach them and tell them, hey, what's up? And when you say what's up, Wesley confirmed that men, if they're just told, hey, they just be like, okay, fine. I loved how honest this was. And then it plays to the point that I mentioned. Personality plays a point. So if you're the kind of person who really just like enjoys sex and like would do it with these people, with your friends and all that, it's a good thing. But if you're the kind of person who probably doesn't have sex as much, let's imagine, oh my goodness, that was strong. Can you imagine if you were asexual? I'm demisexual, which is a subset of asexuality, but for me it doesn't occur to me as much. But I can imagine if you're asexual, you have no romantic or sexual feelings for people. You just go around actually being genuinely friends with just people, right? So it also depends on the personality, sexuality. There's a lot. But we agree. Men here, you're still the ones who are like this, like that. Someone else says, do you know what a platonic friend is to a woman? It's like a dick in a glass case. In case of emergency, break open glass. Fellas, if your woman's got platonic friends, that's who she'll be fucking when you mess up. Okay, so you said this was a quote from Chris Rock, and you agree with it, but I'm also just like, this is the question again. If someone approaches you and says they want you, don't you have the autonomy to say no? What is bothering me here is like men don't have a choice. When something happens, they just, yeah, I guess it's that. So yeah, she said she's the one who approached me. So I slept with. I don't know. And with this, you said if your woman has a platonic friend, that's the person who your woman will go to when you mess up. So then this brings in the dynamic of, we are talking as if all of us in the friend group are single. Why this has been difficult for me is because I have male friends who are committed. So that's why it's even easy for me to never even look at them like that. Because I know your girlfriend. I know you're committed. I know you have a wife. I know, like, it's difficult for me to look at you like that. But then it also bothers me that a man could be committed and still be like, yeah, if Olive were to hit me up, I'd still smash. It's still wild for me. But anyway, you say, so I guess yours is reiterating that women and men cannot be friends. It's just not possible. At some point, someone's going to catch a feeling. At some point, someone wants to smash. At some point, someone will catch a feeling and not express it because they know it will change the dynamic of the friendship and therefore continue living in this pain and whatever, sadness. But anyway, those are all the short responses that I got, and I got one mail. I've got mail, and it reads, "Hello, Olive. I am a big fan. Loads of love. I have this friend. Let's call him Kev. We have been friends since 2021. Early this year, I had issues with my landlord. I have no girlfriends who could host me. I couldn't ask for help from my colleagues. Kev decided to host me until I got some cash and moved to a new house. You know how house hunting is, right? I took around 2 weeks ndo nipate a place I liked. I slept with Kev for 2 weeks without him touching me or making any romantic moves. I'm embarrassed to say this. Call me Mumu. So around April, as usual, he came for Netflix and chill. I had my drink and he doesn't drink, but he smokes. I started being touchy. I want to kiss him, Olive. He looked me straight in the eyes. I sobered up, Olive." I don't know if this is your real name. Let's use Melinda. Melinda, I respect our friendship. If you want to jeopardize it, it's up to you. I will be sleeping on the couch. You can use the bed alone for today. Our friendship has never been the same since that day. He was the best friend I never had. We just text, nothing much though. When I got the house, he funded me with 10,000 for the deposit without asking for anything in return. I used to call him if I needed cash na anatuma ASAP. In short, I believe that platonic friendships do exist and can exist if both parties respect their friendship. Sorry if I have typing errors, Nico Kwamat. Lots of love, Olive. Lots of love to you. You need it. You need all the love you can get. But anyway, hey, hectic, Jomi, is embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? I wish I could roll my eyes. But anyway, it happens. It happens. But then you know what happens here? It shifts. The money thing shifts that dynamic. You see that person who you can call for money, but you really never offer them anything, but they keep offering you. They keep coming through for you. It gives that, it changes the dynamic to a sort of a romantic relationship. That's why things need to stay balanced when it's friendship. And I think that's what Kev was trying to do. Kev was like, we're going to sleep in the bed. You also need comfort as I need comfort. So we're going to both use the bed. But nothing's going to happen, okay? We're going to remain friends. And I love that Kev was strictly friendship. And even in that moment when he's high and you're drunk, he didn't think, oh, this is a moment for me to take advantage. She's feeling all, I don't know. I feel like this gives me hope that men actually have standards, that men actually can use logic at some point. It really gives me a lot of hope. But then, as we've said, if you dare bring it up that you have feelings for your friend, it then just It will, the friendship will never remain again. It will never remain the same again. I am so sorry that you have to lose a friend, because it will never be the same again. You might try, but it will never be the same again. And you see, when you describe the friendship, this is something I tell people to be very careful about. Even other friendships, it doesn't have to be between male and females. When you describe a friend and you find you, or when you describe anyone really, and you find yourself only describing their friends, how much you love them is because of how much they came through for you, you might be a leech. Okay? So you need to be very careful when you describe friendship and you can only describe it as them coming through for you, them coming through for you. That relationship is imbalanced in whatever way, even if you're talking about your parents or your sister or your romantic partner. Yeah, that's all they have to do. But when it comes to friendship, check, why is your friend your friend? If you find yourself going to them for a lot of things, and then what are you offering them? Is it just a good time? If you're offering them company and they're providing for other things for you, it's as good as a relationship. And that is why probably you started developing these feelings. You're just like, it feels safe and trustworthy here. Maybe I want to try out things with this guy. But me, I'm so proud of Kev, first of all, for holding out those boundaries, because that's what we were saying in the beginning. You can be friends with someone of the opposite sex, but have very strong boundaries and do not compromise on them. And he did exactly that. And for you, you just have to bear the brunt. It's you who decided to make the move, and now the friendship can't be the same again. And I am so sorry for you. But now you'll have to get friends. You'll have to just, as you go, you learn. I've lost friends. I've made friends. I make friends every year. I lose friends every year. You learn as you go. The ones you've lost, you mourn, you move. I think you might try and make the friendship work. He looks like someone who might not mind just like still being there for you. Like he's a genuinely good friend. But the dynamic will never be the same again. You want to be besties ever again. And sending out love and light. Loads of love. Warm hugs. You need it. I'm also happy you got a place that you like and you moved in and you're settled in. Also, as you go around life, I recommend this to girls. Create a network of women. Not necessarily, they don't even have to be friends. They can be just acquaintances, people you can rely on for something. If you are a woman, a network of women really comes through. The work is hard, definitely. I don't know if it's easy being friends with men, but you create a network of women to just like bounce off each other for things, whatever. And not necessarily even for that, even for dreams, even for things you aspire to do. Yes, a network of women will come through, is really important for you if you are a woman. But we live, we learn. Okay? Extend yourself grace. Yes, there are days you will remember it at 3 a.m. and just be like, it's embarrassing. But it's okay. We all have those moments that we remember at 3 a.m. It's okay. We bury them at the back of our heads and we move on with life. Okay? And that brings us to all the responses that I got for this topic, which were completely all over the place. Like this episode has ended and we're not even agreeing on one thing. But my general thoughts and experiences on friendships between men and women. I think I've had the whole array. That's why the response I read earlier that said she's clustered her friends was very important to me. As someone who has also had like a number of male friends, up until now, I still have a number of male friends. First, let's start from here. I have said in previous episodes, friendships are difficult for me. I struggle with friendships. It does not matter with whom, even with family. I struggle with friendships. So adding the dynamic of men and women to friendships, to me, I'm just thrown off completely. But in my past, I've had friends who turned to FWBs and then back to friends, and they're my tightest friends ever. Then I've had friends who turned to people I dated, and then after that, I have never ever thought of them ever again. Like they were gone. gone with the never, they don't even cross my mind. And of course, I've had friends who've been consistent all this while. And I'm talking about male friends because I'm a woman. I'm talking about male friends. And I've had friends who've just been friends, consistent. They've just been there. If I wanted something, I'll hit them up. If they wanted something, that hit me up. And yo, I don't, this is why I'm still confused. I genuinely believe friends, women and men can be friends, because I've had friends in the past who are male, and I still do have friends who are male. My confusion comes in the sense that, are those male friends considering me just a friend? And that I cannot read their minds is difficult for me. And then there's issues like, when I am friends, I'm friends. And that's why we are even having that argument with my friend. Because if you're my friend, you're my friend. If we go out for lunch, we split the bill. Or if you pay this time, next time if we go for lunch, I'll pay. If we are getting together for something, someone is bringing drinks, someone is bringing whatever. There's a way the friendship dynamic works for me that does not change whether it's women or men. For me, it's the same. My friendship dynamics stay consistent. Whatever I'll do for my male friends, I'll do for my female friends. I just do not care. There's also the aspect of a lot of my male friends. Oh, I was telling this to one of the person who sent a response. When it comes to not feeling attracted to my male friends at all, it's because I've also had male friends who are in commitments. I know your girlfriend. In most cases, I'm actually friends with both of them. And of course, I'm going to take the girl's side because, I'm not taking them. If anything happens, boy, I'm with your girl until you're proven innocent, okay? I'm with your girl. And in this dynamic, I've always been a third wheeler. And I've found myself, even after meeting, even if the person who I know was the male person was a man, and then they introduced me to their girlfriend. I do not know why, but their girlfriends do gravitate towards me. I end up making friends with girlfriends of my male friends. And I don't know why. And those friendships end up tighter than my friendship with male friends. So that's why I'm also just like, maybe I trust women more. Maybe I'm just looking out for women better than I do for men. And that makes an imbalance in that dynamic when I'm thinking about, can men and women be just friends? But in terms of being friends with someone and feeling attracted to them, I believe I don't believe we're animals. I believe you have standards. I believe you have a type. I cannot, in my head, I can't picture being attracted to any of the people I call friends right now who are men. Because I'm just like, they don't match up to what I want. Or rather, even if they do, they are not what I want in a relationship. Like, why would I be at any point attracted to them sexually or romantically? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And if they think of me as someone they could potentially have sex with, I think I'm brokenhearted here, because I feel like I've had such tight friendships all over my life with men. And I'm just like, wait, is it calculation? Were you plotting? So I don't know. I'm confused. We'll have the episode again in season 4. We'll discuss better with more perspectives. I think I've mentioned this, but I treat my men and women friendships, Is it differently? But that is very recent. Very recently, I found myself like feeling a bit more willing to come through for women than for men. Like with men, I'm just like, I'm lax. A woman will call me right now and be like, I'm in a fix. Can you send me 10 Gs? And I'll just send it without questions. But a man will call me and they're my friend and they'll ask me, I'm in a fix. Can you get me 10 Gs? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I have. So I found myself in the recent times with new information, just now learning psychology a lot, and male and female psychology. I found myself being very, very, very biased towards men, towards women. I'm sorry, very biased towards. Is it men? Bias is for the one you're attacking, the group you're attacking. I have biases towards men, so I find myself treating women differently in my relationships. But when it comes to like just other social activities, hanging out, doesn't matter who you are, male or female, same treatment. We are friends. There is no dynamic here. We are friends. If the same way I get mad at my girlfriends for getting drunk and now I have to take care of them, it's the very same way I get mad for my male friends when they get drunk and now they're trying to get into a fight. I get mad. So for me, the treatment is the same. But if it's me who has to come through for them, I find myself being a bit more hesitant with my male friends than I am with my female friends. Yeah. And it's because of this new information. Now I know that men are only looking at you as someone they can potentially sleep with. And so I think that even if I don't want to believe it, that at the back of my mind still sits. And I know I will never really know for real, because I guess my friend will never tell me. My actual male friend will never come and tell me, oh, I have feelings for you. Or if I were to smash you right now, I would. They wouldn't tell me, because also they want to keep the relationship going. But also because men lie. But anyway, that brings us to the end of another episode of the In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Olive Orawo. And until next week, we are inching closer to end of season 3. Today, we were talking about, can men and women be friends, just friends? We're still confused. Cannot. But again, we'll have this discussion later. And until next week, please do take care of yourself and have a lovely week. Bye.